Hello, people. Welcome to Unique Perspectives, a podcast to make you think. I'm Clayton,
I'm Kafel.
and today we're going to talk about performance issues. So, where we got the idea from, we went to what would you call it, like a gathering,
Yeah.
for 19 Keys. Can't remember where it was exactly, but yeah, it was in London. It was a good event, met like a couple of good people out there. But one thing he spoke about was like performance issues, and we thought it'd be a good idea, to make a video on because I thought he made some good points on that. I think one thing he said which I liked about it, in fact, we'll say what a performance issue is. So from what I remember him saying, it's like something um, cognitively that stops you from doing the things that you're meant to do, and you know you should do them, but you can't do them.
Yeah.
So, and what I liked what he said about it is he said that we know what to do, but we don't do it. We can't call it trauma. We have to say it's a performance issue. And what he was on the base of that is something to do with stress, pressure of life that makes us not do things for whatever reason. And I think that's a good point actually, because it is the mentality that stops us from doing it. If we know we got to do it and we physically have the abilities to do it, then it's a mentality thing. So what I'd ask you is like, what's like a way you can change that mentality to almost get over your performance issue in a way?
Like I always say, mostly every episode, it's about knowing yourself first. Do you know what I mean? Knowing your skills, your gifts, your talents, because once you know who you are, once you've worked on yourself, once you worked on becoming confident and like becoming confident and um, building that self love, then you won't have performance issues
Nah.
because like you know who you are. Do you know what I mean? And you'll know your purpose and you'll know your mission. So like all you want to do is go out and like conquer that. Do you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of the time, two things: people are like scared of failure, and they worry about what other people think, and then also because a lot of people don't spend time observing themselves and like figuring out what their skills, talents, and gifts are, like they don't know how to perform.
Nah, I agree. And one thing when he said that, which made me think actually, I remember a pastor told me this, right? He said to me that um, I can't remember what I said exactly, and I was young, I was maybe about 14, 15. And I remember he said to me, your words are very important. He actually called them spells, and I don't like to call them that, but he said the words you use are very important. So when you're saying these things, your brain's hearing it and it's picking it up. So when you're calling your problems trauma or issues or problems I have, you're almost convincing your brain that you have problems that you have that you can't get over.
Yeah.
Rather than if you just call it an issue with the way you're performing, you're gonna look at how you can get better on your performance. It's like anything in life. If you do, I don't know, if you sing a song, you play a football game, you do a dance rehearsal, whatever you do, you're going to look at your performance and how you can improve the performance. But when it comes to things like mentally with us, we call them problems. Do you know what I mean? And I think because we're calling them problems, we're not actually looking how we can get better because we're in our head we think there's something wrong with us when actually it can be flipped, like you said, with the right mindset and knowing what your strengths can be to improve it. I also like when he was there is that he spoke about like dealing with pressure. Do you know what I mean? And I think one thing he said, I can't remember the exact quote he used, but he said there's a lack of like helping each other out. Do you know what I mean? We're not helping each other out with the pressure. We're not encouraging people to do things and we're not getting that positive energy out. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're helping others win, that's going to make you feel more positive and make you want to win as well because you're going to be winning as a team. So I think that's also something that he said, which I think links to the performance issue. And the last thing I'd say with it is when it comes to, I think, doing things we want to do, I think sometimes we get so worried about the end result that we don't look at maybe the small things that we can do to help ourselves. You know what I mean? We don't look at maybe asking for help. We try and do everything by ourselves. You know what I mean? And take unneeded burden when you have people around you that have knowledge that can help you. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's just being like open to asking for help, taking the burden of yourself, speaking positive language. Say you're gonna do it. You know, when you wake up in the morning, I'm gonna do this. You're gonna write in your journal, this is what I'm gonna do today, and you're gonna check it at the end of the day. So I think you have to put small techniques in also, like maybe journaling, words of affirmation, just things that will help you get in that positive mind frame to be able to perform, I'd say.
Yeah, like you just gotta write things down and just execute. I think a lot of the time, fear is what holds a lot of people back. Do you know what I mean? They fear failing, but like you haven't necessarily failed. It's just a lesson. Do you know what I mean? The only time you fail is when you quit. So if things don't go to plan, just adapt, figure out a solution on how you can then accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. Um, like for me, I feel like fear is an illusion because fear makes you overthink. Do you know what I mean? And makes you overthink loads of different scenarios that may not even happen. Sometimes you just gotta, okay, this is what I want to do. Let me try it. Do you know what I mean? Even like for myself, like when I was building like my football program, like from the beginning, I made so many mistakes, but I kept going and I kept learning from them, bro. Do you know what I mean? But if I allowed like fear to hold me back, then it wouldn't have got off the ground. Do you know what I mean? I had to just keep going, and like eventually, bro, like I just started to realize everything's a lesson. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's it.
Where do you think like the fear of failure comes from though?
I think it's something that is naturally pushed in society, I feel. You know, like you'll have an idea, and most of the time you'll have people around you that might say, "Oh, I don't know about that idea," and then that makes you think, "Oh, should I do it? Should I not?" Or sometimes, like if you go and do something and it doesn't go the way you want it, people be like, "Oh, I told you so." They might laugh. So you gotta have a little bit of like mental toughness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And just listen. If this is what I want to do, I'm gonna do it. And even if it doesn't happen straight away, I know eventually I'll get there as long as I be resilient.
No, I agree. I actually think, like, when you was talking about, I think a lot of the fear of failure comes from, like you said, people telling you can't do something. But I think where it starts is, you know, when you're in primary school and things like that, they tell you everyone's your friend. I mean, everyone's got the best interest for you when they don't really. And I think from that, a lot of us put a lot of importance on how we make others feel. Do you know what I mean? Because we're being told this is your friend, you have to get along. Do you know what I mean? And things like that. They try and make everything nice and make everyone friends. And I think that's a big problem because they're not teaching you how to be with people like you don't necessarily get along with. Do you know what I mean? And I think sometimes because of that, people put too much effort into making people feel good. Do you know what I mean? So if someone does tell them they can't do something, they might go, "Oh," do you know what I mean? They might take his opinion a bit more seriously because, "Oh, we have to be nice to everyone, make everyone feel good." I don't think that's how the world works, especially when you know what I mean, you get in the adult world, you start working and stuff like that. You'll notice a lot of the time, most successful people clash heads all the time. Do you know what I mean? And not in a way where it's an argument or a fight or anything, but they haven't got to agree on the same thing to get things done. Do you know what I'm saying? And for me, I think a lot of it starts from primary school. And I think to get over that fear of failure, I think you have to put things into perspective. Do you know what I mean? I always think like when you're doing something, you've got to think of sometimes, obviously you have to make educated decisions, but you have to think, is anything bad going to happen if I don't do this? Do you know what I mean? What's the worst that can happen? Like you said, if you're trying something, you're trying to build something from the bottom, the only way is up for me. Do you know what I mean? So you have to think when you've got nothing to lose really.
You don't.
Do you know what I mean? Right. So when you're fearing failure, it's not that you don't want to, it's what you want to do well, but you're thinking of the worst outcome. Do you know what I mean? Where you should be thinking about, well, if I do this and that, what you can get at the best. Do you know what I mean? What you can achieve. So I think, like you said, it's a society thing and it gets put on us young. So it's very hard to train out of it. But for me, you just have to, don't be rude to anyone, don't be disrespectful, but just be like showing what you want to do. Do you know what I'm saying? And once you put that plan up to what you want to do, don't let people's words and stuff hold you back. Just keep pushing through because everyone's going to have an opinion at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean?
Even like there was a saying I came across this week in a book, and it said expect the best, but be prepared for the worst. But my thing is like expect the best, but be prepared to adapt, because it doesn't necessarily mean because something hasn't gone your way that it's a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? So my thing is expect the best, but be prepared to adapt, because you may have to adapt. That's just life.
Yeah.
You know, even like when I was coaching yesterday, I was saying to the players, like we was doing 1v1, and I was saying to them, like, you know, strategize, have a plan of how you want to get past this player, you know, but at the same time, have another solution just in case you need to adapt, because your skill might not go to plan, because like the opposition might have defended really well. So what are you going to do next? Do you know what I mean? You always have to be prepared to adapt in life.
No, I agree. You're right about adjustments. You know, you always got to adjust to what's in front of you. Do you know what I'm saying? You have to almost have, like you said, have backup plans. You know what I mean? If something doesn't work, well, I'm going to do this. Because I think what people do is they have a good plan A, but when plan A don't work, there's nothing there after. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And also things, do you know what I mean? Things are only going to happen on God's time. It may not happen when you want to happen or when you think it's going to happen or how you think it's going to happen. But you have to find a different way to do things. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is, especially when you're not in control of everything. It's most of the time it's not going to go your way. Do you know what I mean? Because there's other things that have to go in place for you to be able to pull things off sometimes. So I think you just, like you said, make adjustments, and that's with anything in life. Like you said, do you know what I mean? If you have people that you live with, you make adjustments every day without realizing. Do you know what I mean? It's just about knowing that you have to use it in different avenues of life, and be able to put that in place so where you can get the best out of yourself. Like you said, when you're playing football, boxing, anything that you're doing, do you know what I mean? That's at a high level. You have to make adjustments because everything changes so quick.
Anything else?
No, do you want to read that thing?
Oh yeah. So yeah, this book here I've been reading this week is called Man of Purpose and Power by Dr. Miles Monroe. So let me find the chapter. So this chapter is called The Gold Inside You. So here it says, this story illustrates that when we can see, what we can see is not necessarily what really is. I believe that many of us are living as clay vessels when in reality we are pure gold inside. This gold is the dreams we have or once had for our lives that are not reality yet. The God given gifts and talents that we have not yet developed, the purpose for our lives that is not yet fulfilled. How do you remove the clay and uncover the gold within? Your dreams, talents, and desires can be refined in the process of discovering and fulfilling your life's vision, so that the pure gold of your unique and personal gifts to this world can truly shine forth. So it's just basically that chapter is just talking about unlocking like the gold within you, like unlocking your talents, your gifts, your skills, and sharing it with the world.
Yeah.
You know, and just executing. You know what I mean? Because everyone's got different gifts, everyone's got different talents and skills that they can share with the world, but you have to unravel that, and I was going to use a certain word, and you have to enhance it, cultivate it, and then share it to the world.
Yeah, I hear that. And I'd say, like, what would you say, like, 3 ways that, like, with performance issues, like, you could almost link it to that book. Like you said, they called it like you said, we're moving like clay vessels. I mean, that's a deep thing to say. But what are like the 3 ways you get over like the performance issues? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what are 3 things you can do to, or I'd say improve if you've got performance issues, or even 2, 1, or whatever you think.
What I would say is write down the things you want to accomplish. Break them into small steps. Give yourself a deadline for when you want to achieve it and a realistic deadline, and just do it. But what I would also say is start off with just even, I would say for everyone should be looking after their health anyway. Do you know what I mean? So just start off with planning your workout routine in the gym and just executing that, because it's all, you could do that, or set yourself a goal of reading like one book a month and reading a chapter a day, because if you do that, then you'll notice like, okay, I'm executing on what I set out to do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then once you can see that you're achieving those small goals like reading, working out, things like that, you'll be able to achieve your bigger goals, because you've already created that habit.
Yeah.
You've set that habit of already executing what you said you wanted to execute.
Perfect.
You?
Nah, I'd actually agree. What I liked in that book as well, like the way he was describing himself as golden. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pure as well.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to do. Is, you know what I mean, be a bit more positive about how we speak about ourselves. But I'm with you. I think with goals, it's sometimes when you don't have that belief, you need to set small goals. Do you know what I'm saying? And once you know you can do small goals and you get the process, then it's a lot easier to do bigger goals. You know what I mean? Like you said, it might be something small, like, do you know what I mean? I don't know. It depends what your performance issue is. Like you said, if you have problems being consistent with the gym, just be consistent for a month. And then once you do it for a month, make the goal a bit harder. If I can do 1 month, I can do 3 months. Do you know what I mean? And then 6 months, a year, and then almost it's almost like second nature to you. You know, if you've got problems, you know, getting things done and work, like you said, set deadlines for things. Do you know what I mean? I think set deadlines for things and make sure you put little things in place to help you get them deadlines. Do you know what I mean? When you're writing it down, don't just write down, I'm going to do A and B. I'm going to write down A and B because I'm going to do this, 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 and that. Do you know what I mean? Because one goal, and then you set loads of mini goals, like you said. And for me, I think it's just having the awareness. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, you have the issue.
Yep.
What are you going to do to fix it? Like you said. So no, I think for me is, what do I struggle? When do things go wrong normally? Do you know what I mean? When do things like collapse? So when I get to that point, I know this is where it normally collapses. Here's where I'm going to get over it. Do you know what I mean? So for me, just like knowing yourself, setting small goals, and just once you complete them goals, make harder goals. You know what I mean? Or goals with bigger end results, I'd say. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That would be for me.
I agree. Yeah, that routine's important, you know, because your routine will set you up for the rest of the day.
Facts.
You know, so for me, I haven't been doing it recently, but I need to get back to doing it. But I would always get up just before the sun rises. Do you know what I'm saying? Because when the sun rises, I want to be out going for my run because it's quiet. Do you know what I mean? And I'll come back home, shower up, do my other things that I need to do. But like when you've got a routine, it will help you execute because you're always thinking like, what's next? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think also another thing that's important is like having a like for me, I call it a battle plan. So a list of things that I've got to do for that day. I'm just focusing on ticking them off.
Mm-hmm. Nah, and I was going to add one more actually as well. I was going to say, wherever you can get it, whether it's out, do you know what I mean, before you go to bed in the morning, just have some like time to yourself where you can actually think in quiet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think as well, like do you know what I mean? Like you go to work, then you might come home, you might, do you know what I mean, play a game or go on your Instagram or your TikTok, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're not letting your brain have time to actually like rest and take things in. So for me, just give yourself 10, 15 minutes just to almost reflect, you know what I mean? Whether you're sitting in the car, it don't matter, but just time where you have like peace and quiet to actually think about what happened today and absorb your thoughts. That'd be the last one I had.
And also like Nightingale he said in the event, he said that, you know, what you do frequently becomes your frequency, do you know what I'm saying? So like for me, when I wake up, everything's positive. You know, the first thing that I take in is positive, whether it's reading a positive book, then when I'm in the shower listening to something positive, whether it's a sermon, whether it's a motivational speech, because all these little things are setting my mindset for the rest of the day and empowering me. Do you know what I mean? So then now when I go out to the world, I'm in a positive mind frame because I made sure my whole environment was positive. Do you know what I mean? So that's something that you can control as well, you know? So I would say like really be intentional of the things that you take in, you know, the people that you have around you, make sure they're positive people that uplift you. And everything that you do should be uplifting you. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be pulling you down. It should just be making you greater and better. So that's what I would say.
Nah, I agree. I think that's a good way to end it unless you want to add anything else.
No, good.
That's good. Unique perspectives. We're out.